Hi, my name is Patty Strausser, and I would like to share through this Facebook and also through YouTube one of the most important experiences that I ever had in my life. A year ago, in March, around March 2019, I was diagnosed with breast cancer stage 3. I found a lump in my axilla, and after that, I have to go for medical tests, CT scans, MRIs, and all the lies to find out and to get a diagnosis. Of course, when we are surprised and presented with these kind of situations in our lives, a lot of emotions come through the mind. There's truly a turmoil, emotional and mental turmoil without because we anticipate the consequences of this situation. But some tools that I learned throughout my journey with cancer have changed my life, and that's what I wanted to talk about. I remember that when I got that diagnosis, I came home and I did some thinking about my situation, some introspection, if you will. I went before my God and I say, why me, God? I had been trying to have a healthy life. I don't dwell into emotions. I try to help people. I'm happy. I sleep well. I eat well. Why me? And the answer that it came to my mind was, why not? Let's see what are you going to do with that. In that moment, my friends, I realized that I had to make a decision about that particular situation. And from that moment, I understood what acceptance really means. Acceptance means that life is going to do what life does. We are alive, we may die. We are healthy, we may get sick. We live in a zone, in a place where there's earthquakes are going to come. We are in a relationship, the person that we love may leave us, may die. Our children, they may forget about us. Disappointment is part of life, and we have to learn to live with these disappointments and to accept what life is dealing us. Because when we say, okay, this is happening, perhaps I didn't do anything to contribute to this situation, but it's happening regardless. I do have to make a choice. I have to see if I'm going to go with resentment, with anger, with guilt. I'm going to make the life of people around me, my loved ones, more difficult. I'm going to have stress. I'm going to have fear. Or I'm going to live day by day and accept what it is. And that's what I did. I knew in that moment that I had to take a stand for life, because when we got a diagnosis like this, doesn't mean that we're going to die. It means that our life is going to change, and we will have to make those changes, but it doesn't mean that we are going to die. And in that moment, I understood that principle, and I had to embrace life, which I did. I accepted that bad things happen to good people, and very good things happen to people who do not make very good choices. I made good choices with my life, and I got cancer. So it was nothing that I could do to change that. I had to accept it, and I did. And in that moment, I promised myself I will be courageous. I will be cheerful if I could. I would not have fear. And I will not be a burden for my family. That I will smile. That was my first commitment to go through that illness. The second one was about disappointments. We expect that we will do the right things. Everything is going to work out. No, my dear friends. It doesn't happen like that. You can be a great parent, and your children may turn out to be not very good children, or vice versa. You can make all the healthy choices in your life and you can get sick. You can be very faithful to your partner and your partner can be unfaithful to you. You can plan everything to perfection and then things don't work out the way we anticipate it will work out. Life is just like that. And one of the quotes that I like about one of my favorite books, it says, one of the biggest disappointments in life is never to have suffered or endured disappointments. And I was disappointed. I was disappointed because not in a million years I would have thought that someone like me would be diagnosed with breast cancer. I was disappointed on family members. I was disappointed at friends. I was disappointed at people who say they were going to be there for me and they were not. But I have to understand. And I did understand back then that some people are not capable. It's very hard for them to see that someone that you love is facing the possibility of death and you cannot do anything about it. Some people don't know what to say. And when they say to you, if you are going through a serious illness and they say to you, I know what you're going through, but they never have faced that illness. It's just they trying to be compassionate. And but they can't. They can't. You have not suffered or endure a big illness. You cannot say, I understand what you're going through. So I had to deal with disappointments and understand that, yeah, people are people. We have emotions. We don't know what to say. And everybody is trying to do the best and bring some comfort to the other person. The other important lessons that I got with my journey, through my journey with cancer was, I say, okay, well, this is, my life is going to change. I'm going to see what is the lesson, what I can learn. And my life became like a question mark, an interrogation every day. What can I learn about myself, about the emotions, about my mind, about my spirit? What can I learn? And I try to be aware, although sometimes I couldn't. They say that to be successful in any treatment, medical treatment, you need 3 pillars. One of them is that you have to have good medicine, that you need to have a good attitude, and you have to have a good support system. And I will add to that the fact that faith, a positive outlook to the illness is very important. And for me, those were the 4 pillars that helped me through my illness. I knew that I had one of the best doctors. I knew that my attitude was positive. I knew that I had a support system, and I knew that I had absolute, unconditional faith in my higher power, in God, in that God within, that He was trying to control and help me during those moments of fear. And when I realized that I was relieved from fear, I wasn't fearful, because when we're going through trials and tribulations in life, we must find those additional resources that it will help us to go through that. And I found those additional resources. Also, I knew I had to change my life. And I was determined to learn more about meditation, about prayer, about my emotions. I started journaling and recording experiences that I have many years ago, and how those experiences were still affecting me because they were creating emotional tension and fear inside of me. And I was determined not to allow those situations to still control my mind. There were moments where I couldn't move, I couldn't eat. I was so sick that my mind couldn't even think about anything. Chemotherapy produces something in the brain. It's like a brain fog. It's just this confusion where basic things like eating, walking, breathing, they are forgotten. And there were moments in my life when I feel like that. I feel like that. And the best thing that I could do was just to meditate, put my mind in a blank space, and to call into that higher power that it was inside my mind, and that higher power never left me. That's that's one of the greatest gifts that cancer provided for me. It was to allow me to experience, in reality, the validity of the spiritual experience. The spiritual experience became something so real to me that I knew that I wasn't alone, that it was a plethora of spiritual forces around me, from my universal Father, my universal Mother, the feminine aspect of God, the masculine aspect of God, all the angels, all the benevolent, beneficial spirits around me, about the spirit of truth, so many, and my inner spiritual, inner spark, divine spark, trying to provide me day by day with those powerful tools that it will allow me to go through the treatment, through the downsides, through the side effects of this illness, and say, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. My body will stand. These bodies are the result of many thousands, millions of years of evolutions. These bodies are powerful machines, and they are the temple of the divine spark, the thought adjuster, the inner spirit that lives inside each one of us. And these bodies have one function: to survive, to stand, to rebuild, to regenerate. And I gave my body full permission and consent to do just that. And I went day by day, week by week, month by month, treatment by treatment, with this full conviction that no matter how bad it will get, I will have this additional energy that it will help me to go through it. I'm happy to say that I'm in remission right now. I'm feeling good. My body is little by little rebuilding, and I hope that I don't have this visitation again. But I had no fear. I made a decision to live my life, feel free of fear, live in the moment, enjoy every day, and to share my experience with so many people who think that because we are diagnosed with illnesses, we're going to die and we will not have the resources. I just want to say, believe, open your mind, open your heart, open your consciousness to the possibility that when we need the resources, they will be there. They will be there. God ever responds to the smallest flicker of faith. And all that we have to do is say, help me to go through this. Help me to have equanimity, serenity, poise, and peace of mind to go through this valley of tears. And we will be supported, we will be strengthened, and we will be healed, if it's not physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Have peace in your mind.